Sean Ray from muscledevelopment.com with the online editor, David Bay. David, we just concluded the second annual Arnold Classic here in Melbourne. For the women, that is, the bikini champions and the figure champions. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger was here to do the honors. Let's start with the bikini. I mean, India Paulino seems unbeatable in the bikini division as it stands right now, winning 2 times in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you know, it was interesting seeing her take first place in Columbus a couple of weeks ago. I think a lot of people thought last year's champion, Janet Leigh, was going to walk away as the winner. She slipped down to 3rd place, actually, in Columbus. Moved up a spot here into 2nd place, but India is still the winner. You know, even with bikini, it's a little bit apples and oranges. India is a very petite girl, not quite as curvy as you could say as maybe Justine or Janet, and some of the fans aren't really crazy about that. But again, in bikini, just like in bodybuilding, there is the apples and oranges. India, obviously great stage presence, probably the best stage presence of any of the girls in the lineup. So another good win for India. But look for Janet to tighten things up a little bit as we move forward in the year and try to take her spot back over as champion.
We're at the top 3 in that?
It was Janet was in 2nd place, and then Justine Monroe was in 3rd place. So Janet and Justine flip-flopped from the Arnold just a few weeks ago. Justine looking fantastic again. Hard to beat in her back shots with her ham and glute tie-in, but not quite as good from the front maybe as Janet or India. Presentation could still use a little bit of work, but Justine looked fantastic again.
Yeah, and there was a lot of girls, like 20 some odd girls in that bikini lineup, which is huge. But moving into the figure competition, it seemed like you were almost able to call that when they first walked on the stage. Forget the first call out. You literally said the top 3 as it happened. Why do you think that is, that you're able to pick the winner, Latoria Watts, who's not that hard to choose, but 2nd and 3rd, it gets a little bit kind of confusing at times?
Yeah, we were sitting at prejudging, and after the comparison groups, I picked the top 5, and it was the top 5 as they came out tonight. So I attribute that to in a lot of these shows.
Is it a game of genetics, though?
As far as the placings, it's absolutely genetics, and you build relationships with a lot of these athletes and stuff, and a lot of the athletes come to you and myself and ask, what do you think, who's going to win this? And it's an easy answer for me. It's Latoria. And it comes back to Latoria every single time, and it's not a matter of work ethic from the other girls or anything else. It is a matter of structure with Latoria. If Latoria's on, nobody's beating her.
You used to say that about Candice Lewis. I mean, she was right there, faded a little bit in the prejudging, dropped down to her knees a couple of times, but she genetically had it still does have a great stride.
Yeah, I think she needs to come in just a little bit tighter. Latoya's conditioning is usually a little bit better. You know who I was really surprised with this weekend, who I thought was at her all-time best, was Sydney Gillen. I actually thought Sydney could have been in 2nd place behind Latoria. Her waist, actually, I think might even be a little bit smaller than Latoria's. Doesn't quite have that V-taper and that sweep on her quads like Latoria has, but Sydney looked absolutely fantastic in 3rd place, Candice in 2nd, and again, Latoria, to me, a clear winner in 1st place.
There's no question this is arguably the best lineup in the women's bikini and physique, and they got in figure, I should say, and they got all the placements right. I don't think a whole lot of people would argue, with the exception of maybe in the bikini. It's very subjective there, but India's representing well. Where do we go from here? The women are done. We've got the men's prejudging that we just saw, and it seemed to be a carbon copy of last week.
Yeah, or 2 weeks ago, rather. We saw Kai and Cedric look like they're in this, in the driver's seat for the 1 and 2 spot. I saw Kai a little bit ahead of Cedric today. So in Columbus, obviously after prejudging, a lot of people, including myself, had Cedric in 1st place with Kai in 2nd. Kai came back a little bit better at night, moving into that winner's spot. We did see a little bit of a flip-flop here with Justin Compton and Josh Lenardowitz. Now, Justin was notably improved right when he came out on stage. Everything looked a little tighter. He was keeping his waist tighter, but the big story with Justin, in just a short period of time that they were going through the comparisons, Justin was getting tighter and tighter and tighter as he posed. If they had a couple of more rounds, I don't know where Justin would have ended up, but man, his body changed on stage big time.
2 weeks ago, we saw it change. It just went from puffy to watery, and it was a bad thing for him. Here, he got tighter, like you said, and it seems like right now that's the order. It's Kai, who showed up in shape for prejudging, he can hold it. We noticed 2 weeks ago that he was able to get better, and he does bring the wow factor where Cedric sometimes looks good and he just looks good. He's going to have to bring some aggression if he wants to close in on Kai, because that posing round is going to be counted. Arnold instituted the new posing round for rewards, and that's where if Josh is going to close any ground on Justin, he's going to have to break out the routine of his life, and he's going to have to tighten up a little bit. But right now, Justin seemed to make some headway on Josh. And these shows aren't over till they're over. We have 24 hours where these bodies can change, and we've seen it happen before.
Yeah, Josh, I think he definitely came out good. He wasn't as tight as I think he was in Poland or as at the Arnold in Columbus. He still looked really good, but to me, he's definitely behind Justin. So Josh is going to have to, he's going to have to get a lot better for tomorrow night. But again, we're talking 24 hours. A lot can happen in 24 hours. We saw Josh's physique change a lot on stage in Columbus just during prejudging last time. In Columbus, it was it was a matter of the prejudging and the night show being on the same day. Here, he does once again have 24 hours. A lot can happen.
Well, that's right, and we're going to be right back here in 24 short hours for the finals of the Arnold Classic, Melbourne, Australia. For David Bay, I'm Sean Ray, MuscularDevelopment.com.